G'day guys, welcome. The challenge is well and truly on. And that's the way I see it. That's the way I am, I suppose, viewing and dealing with the disappointment over the last week, since I did my last video, Monday of last week, of the news of Sam Walsh's injury. Slight setback. Well, hopefully it's a slight setback, but more importantly, the season-ending injury to, a real stalwart of the football club, an ultra-consistent performer, leader down back, become a really important part of this team. Nick Newman's ruptured patella. Not the first time he's done that injury. Did it back in 2020 as well. When I see it twofold here. And I really think it's separate. And as much as us supporters are the club and we're all one, we are somewhat separate. So when the news came through, first of Walsh's injury and setback, and then Newman's injury 24 hours later. And I'm not here to take the high moral ground at all, because I could sort of understand it. I can understand the responses. But I reckon 95% of the responses from Carlton supporters on the social media platforms when the club, and they would have been disappointed for Newman within the club. But they would have just been sitting back, the social media team and the club, going, how are we going to... There's no easy way for us to let our supporters know of this, because they would have known the responses, and we certainly didn't disappoint. Now, I just sat back. And as much as I was disappointed, I don't want to think about it that way anymore. I really don't. And it kind of makes me, I don't know. I can understand it, but the sort of the narrative and the rhetoric that we're fucked, we're gone, we're cursed, why us? This is an understandable response from a club that has just been in a disappointing cycle for so long. But it doesn't have to be that way, and it's not going to be that way for me anymore. So I didn't respond that way at all. I just thought, no, what has this club of ours got in it? Is this club of ours, which is, and I don't want to use the word spruiked, because I think they're genuine. I think they're genuine in what they say. But the challenge is on for them. The challenge is not necessarily on for us as a supporter base. You can do what you like. If you want to be defeatist, if you want to say we're fucked, you want to say we're cursed, go for it. I feel like that attitude and that sort of psyche does permeate its way through the culture of us. I really do. But I'm really happy and comfortable and content to put it on our football club, who have spoken about it for so long now, and under Michael Voss as well, that they want to be a really strong club with fucking real intestinal fortitude. And this is a classic case of dealing and responding and being resilient to some adversities, and not adversities that other strong clubs will face. And this is what happens. And do we want to be that club that continues to potentially have that soft underbelly. And yeah, well, I thought we had a soft underbelly last year, a real soft underbelly. And it's been something which has been in this club for a long time now, and I know that Voss would be trying to change this, and the players are doing everything they can. Or are they doing everything they can? I'm not quite sure, but we are, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but we are going to find out, and I feel like this is exciting and interesting. We're going to find out a lot about this club of ours and what they are and what they want to become. Because as much as this is a tiny little setback, it's all ahead, and to have the attitude that we're fucked, let's forget about it. I don't want to be a next year type club, and we're in that cycle. We're like a next year club. Oh, well, next year. We're building next year. Will happen next year. Well, Nick Newman's not probably seeing that way, there's no next year. Well, he's only got 2026 now. That's if he even gets, I don't know, his contract status. But at the end of 2024, and Nick Newman spoke candidly about the disappointment of the way our club dealt with 2024 defensively. And you could hear it in his voice, how slack they were. And this wasn't about personnel and injuries. This was about how slack they were defensively. And he took it personally. Man. He spoke about it at the end of the year. He was savage on himself and savage on the group. And was keen to make amends. And this is what happens. This is what happens in football and a team sport. You don't take your opportunities. You are left with regrets. Now, he's sitting back now with a season-ending injury. No part of it. Now, he'll play. We'll hear what he's doing behind the scenes, that he's helping out. He's going to be, on the bench throughout the season. But he wants to be out there playing. We've got to fucking stand up. We've got to stand up. Who the fuck is going to really step up at our football club? This group of ours, to finally get rid of that, and I'm going to call it that soft underbelly that stops us when everything's going our way and we get on a roll, we look $1 million, but then we go on these streaks of absolutely poor form, we lose our way because it gets a little bit too hard. And this is proof because Nick Newman spoke about it. They were fucking savage on the way they defended. So tell us, guys, tell us who's going to step up. What are we going to do about it? Because we want to be a strong club. And I don't necessarily like comparing us to the Brisbane Lions or any other club for that matter. And we're probably no different to a lot of clubs in that cycle. But this is our club. So Brisbane then, Brisbane. Now they copped it. Kitty Coleman, Darcy Gardner, Lincoln McCarthy, Tom Duday, bang, gone at the start of the season. Everyone wrote them off. I don't know what they were talking about or thinking inside that football club, but fuck, whatever they did, they found something that they probably knew they had. They really knew they had it to achieve what they did and be able to shift the magnets, and for, more importantly, their senior players, blokes that have been around the football club that have maybe had slightly underperformed, not to their full ability from a leadership point of view and a performance point of view for a period of time, finally really stepped up Young players came in on the back of that and felt they really belonged, and the coach had total trust in them. A Logan Morris, a Darcy Wilmot, a Kai Lohman, Will Ashcroft, Fletcher. Shifted the magnets, put Dane Zorko behind the ball. What a move that was. And to do what they did on the back of adversity, and to do it in the manner that they did it, I don't know if we can do it. And that's the challenge. I don't know if we can do it or not. But fuck, if you want to be a strong club, you're going to have to do it. Because the question marks are always going to remain. Always going to remain. So isn't it about time? Isn't it about time? And I know it's you don't want to point the finger at too many individuals at our football club. Isn't it about time Mitch McGovern just fucking stepped up? Now a real senior player, slightly underperformed since he was brought over on big money. Zach Williams, even Madam Chera, I know he's had injuries. You know, and I know this happens. And as much as the players would have been disappointed, Nick Newman going down, but young blokes on the fringe, you feel like they might be a little bit hard done by because they're not getting opportunities. Well, fuck. Whoever you are, it's your time now to step up. Whether it's Billy Wilson, okay, you're coming into your second season, there's an opportunity for you to really step up and take that spot. Hollands, Ollie Hollands behind the ball. It's going to have to happen. It is going to have to happen because I'm kind of not sick and tired because I've continued to follow this football club, but I'm kind of tired of being in this cycle of defeatists. You know, and there's no reason with the talent that's not on this list still that they can't deal with whatever adversity is thrown their way, and it can't be used as an out. One, for us supporters, but more importantly for the group itself, and that's the challenge. And we don't want to hear about it. We don't want to hear, as much as it's disappointing for Nick Newman, you know, we think we've got players that can come. Well, yeah, that's fine. Say that. But we actually want to see it. We want to see it at work. Because I think we all are a bit sick and tired of the disappointment of the club that we follow. And time, I think the big one here for me is time waits for no one. Time waits for no one. And it's quite ironic that Nick Newman, who was in that interview, desperate to get back of the disappointment of the way they performed in 2024, that you're not going to be part of it, mate. Like, this is footy in the nutshell. You can all tell us, all these AFL players can tell us they've got the best job in the world. Well, man, like, you're still going to get paid, but fuck, mate, you're going to spend the whole season on the sidelines, and all that stuff you said about coming back and making amends and working, like, man, take the opportunities when they're presented in front of you, Carlton. Take them. Because we're apparently on the cusp. Don't give us the inconsistencies of, okay, we need to be a more consistent football team in these areas. Don't give it to us. We don't want to hear that anymore. Show us, man. Show us. Because that talk's got to stop. It's got to be a time where this club of ours are going to fucking grow some balls and stand up. And that is the challenge. And that's the thing I'm excited about. Because we're really going to see how strong this group is how strong our leaders really are and how hard, and if they really want it. They really want it. Because a lot of these players they're not getting any younger. And we could go through a whole generation, okay, of maybes. Oh, there's always next year. Oh, this is what we sort of did wrong, like we were inconsistent. We didn't defend well. Okay, we're going to be one of those clubs. And before we know it, okay, it's gone. So 2025 for me now, when we get these adversities, just makes it for me fucking a hell of a lot more exciting to see if they're actually fucking made of anything at all. And I just don't mean talent. I mean whether they're fucking strong individuals and they are true competitors, not just individually, but as a team. So some options we've got moving forward. So what are we going to do about it? That's what it's about at the moment in regards to replacements for Nick Newman, who'd be put on the inactive list, meaning a door opens up for someone else. Now, I'm not saying any of these guys who are trained on players could come in and play the role of Nick Newman, but the owner have to do something. So right here, right now, I think we've got Ethan Phillips, Denver Granger Barras, Sam Durden, who are key position defenders, all vying for a spot on the list. We've got Liam McMahon, a key forward from our VFL, vying for a spot on the list. And the other lad who the door has really opened up for now is Matthew Carroll. Now, he's a 19-year-old. He's not 20 into the end of this year, so he was a quite young player when he got drafted as a rookie. Spent 1 year on our list, did not play a game. I don't think he even played a game in the VFL. He was struck down with groin injuries. Now, I'm led to believe that it was potentially OP, which is debilitating. I don't know if he had surgery, but they did listed him after 1 year, which I can't remember us delisting a player after 1 year. Not a player such as a kid who appears to have some genuine talent. Like if you look at his backstory, Sandringham Dragons, Premiership player, Vic Metro, high accumulator across halfback, plenty of dash, plenty of rebound, uses the ball very well. To delist him after 1 year, I'm not saying that's unfair. It just seemed a little bit unusual. It was probably more around his body than anything else. Give him an opportunity to do pre-season to see whether his body can hold up, which is a bit of worry within itself. If that's what they're thinking, can his body hold up? But at 188 centimetres, he just feels like, I'm not saying he will come in and play Nick Newman's role. That will need to fall on the shoulders of others who will get that opportunity. But who knows? The door is well and truly open for Matthew Carroll to be put back onto the rookie list. So 1 year at our football club, they've left the number 32 jumper open, which was his jumper throughout this year. I think, who knows what they'll do, but I think if he's tracking well, which I think he is, I saw him at training before Christmas and he did everything and looks to be really fit. But who knows with our football club and what's happening behind the scenes, because what I do know and what we do know about all these train-on players, Ethan Phillips, Denver Granger Barras, Sam Durden, Matt Carroll, and who was the other one? Liam McMahon, is our club is keeping their cards close to their chest. We don't get any real vision of these guys. Okay, it's pretty much all about the guys who are on our list. We never get much vision of these train-on players, which is, I don't know, it's probably understandable. They don't want to probably give out any information that they don't necessarily need to do, given that the 5 guys that they got training on, maybe only one will get a spot on our list. But I think that may now go. Given that we now have Alex Chincotta and Nick Newman out, maybe we need some coverage with medium-sized defenders in our back half. But maybe we take 2 players, and I'm not quite sure. But the challenge is on, guys. It's for me, it's super exciting that we can ask questions of our club based on, have they got it in here? You know, like, is it just talk? Is it just talk with our club? Do they really want to create their own story, as Michael Voss continues to talk about? And this is how stories unfold. There are problems, there are adversities, there are challenges that need to be overcome, and good clubs overcome them, just like the Brisbane Lions did in 2024. Speak soon.